Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Kiera. This is the official YouTube channel for Cosmetology United. I am a licensed cosmetologist and cosmetology instructor in the state of Texas, and I am going to be teaching you 2 methods for lock maintenance. We are going to be doing retwisting and retying. So let's jump into it. I'm going to start off with showing you retwisting methods. For me, there are some pros and cons to both. For retwisting, I love the way that it looks. I love how quickly it can be done. However, there are some downsides to it. It doesn't always last so long. If you sweat, if your hair gets wet, when it's time to shampoo, the twist will unravel. So if you're looking for something that's going to last a long time, unless you know that you are not going to shampoo your hair for a few weeks, or you know that your hair does not sweat, I would not recommend retwisting. That's just my opinion. That's, for me, that's something that I've noticed, is that my retwists do not last long. Like I said, you can do it very quickly. It doesn't take as long to do. So there is some pros to it. With retying, it's a much longer process. It takes a lot longer to complete the whole process, especially when your locks are small like mine. I don't have really big locks, so it does take me longer, and I mean hours. Like, it may take me 2 hours, 3 hours to retwist my hair. For retying, it takes me like 8 hours plus, depending on how much new growth I have, and it is a very tedious process. However, with retying, it's like locking my hair instantly. It's like locking your hair instantly, so it doesn't unravel, and it lasts much longer. The downside to that is, what I noticed when I retwist is that my parts look neater than versus when I retie. At least my own hair, it's not as neat as it looks when I retwist. So those are some pros and cons. Now let's jump into how you actually do them. All right, so I am going to start here because I'm in the process of retying my hair now, and so I've already done this row. So we're gonna go to the next row. My hair is shampooed, but I've been working on it for a while, so it's kind of dried up, so I'm gonna go in and wet it a little bit. When I am doing a retwist or a retie, I don't like to use wax or gels, edge control, none of that in my hair. I typically use water and oil only. That's it. But every now and then I'll use this Design Essentials Almond and Avocado setting lotion. This is a water-based product. I would recommend using a water-based product. Anything that is a liquid and water-based is easy to get out of the head, so it won't cause buildup. Locks tend to get buildup, especially when using heavier products, because they can get stuck in the lock and it's hard to get it out, and so over time it'll create buildup. With that being said, I like to use water-based products. I'm going to just dampen my hair a little bit, and then I'm going to go in and straighten out my parts on. My comb broke, but I'm going to use the tail of my comb, the metal piece, to just straighten out my part as much as I can. I'm honestly not, I like my parts to be clean, but I'm not like that particular. especially when I do it myself, because honestly, I be trying to get done, y'all. It takes so long for me to do my own hair that I'm just in a hurry to get done. So I'm not as particular about my parts as I would be, of course, if I was working on someone else, or if someone else was working on me. I would expect them to really take the time to make sure my parts were correct. So I would do that. Then I would, so you can see that's one part. So for retwisting, pick a direction and stick with it. I retwist to the right, so I do all of my locks in the same direction, and every time I retwist, I go in that direction. So I am going to take my lock, and we're going to do the palm roll method, meaning I am going to take my palms and I am going to twist to the right, and I'm going to hold it there, twist to the right, and I'm doing that until my full root is twisted. And then with any strays that are left on the lock, I am going to twist them around the lock to the right. See, I'm just going down the lock as if I were doing a 2-strand twist, but my lock is one strand and the loose hair is the other strand, and I'm just twisting it around. And I will go down the entire lock. They pretty much cleaned it up. And then the last thing you would do is take your clip, and I'm just gonna reuse this one, and I would just clip it. So you basically want to attach the clips to the locks underneath. I use multiple clips because you want to make sure that it's holding. And then I will go to the next one, and I would do the exact same thing. So I'll do one more. Okay. You can see the new growth. Sometimes hair will come out of the lock completely. You would just take that off, twist it to the right. And when I retwist, I try to, what you want to do is keep, so instead of retwisting it up here, I'm going to retwist it down. I'm going to hold it down in the direction that I want it to go and retwist it that way so that it lays smooth and flat. And then I just take that same clip and hold it down like that. Now y'all, like I said, my parts are not clean at all because I am not taking the time out to be so particular about it. However, like if I was doing a client, then obviously I would really take my time, and I like to make sure that the parts look nice and neat for someone else. But this is the method. That's what you would do to retwist. Now I'm going to actually take those down because I'm in the process of retying my hair today. So I just wanted to show you what the retwist process was like, but I am going to retie. So for retying, I'm going to use this tool. I ordered this from Amazon. I'll link it below. I don't even know what they're called, just an interlocking tool, because this process is called interlocking. And so what I'm going to do is through the hole, I'm going to place my lock, and I pull it up towards the slimmer part so that it can be secure. And then what you're doing is basically you're tying the hair around itself. So this is my new growth. I'm going to take my tool and I'm going to go through downward, and I'm at the base of the lock, right where the new growth, where the hair that's actually locked starts. And then I'm gonna go backwards. I am doing what is called a 2-point rotation. So I'm gonna go in those 2 directions only, downward and then back. The goal is making sure that you don't go through the same hole multiple times. So creating new holes each time, making sure that you have that tool all the way at the base. Because if I have it here and it's low, close to my head, then what can happen is I'll have a hole in between there where I didn't connect the hair all the way. Basically, it'll leave holes. It'll leave holes in your lock. And when you go through that same hole multiple times, that will create holes in the lock as well. And you don't want that. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll twist those loose hairs around the lock. And I still just clip to get it out of my way. It's not gonna unravel or anything, but I just don't like to I like to stay organized. So now I'm gonna go to the next one, and I'll do it one more time for you. My new growth, take my lock through the tool. I'm gonna go back. And I'm gonna go down. Uh-oh, and if your lock comes off, just put it back through. Now I chose the 2-point. I think when you do the 4-point rotation, which is going down, front, back, up, down, front, back, up, or in any rotation going in all 4 directions, it creates a more solid lock, like really closed and tight. And I really don't care to do all of that. I just don't feel like trying to remember which direction I just went, if I went down, up, back. It's just not that serious to me. So I choose to just do 2-point rotation and keep it simple. So I'm just taking my hair, those loose hairs, wrapping them around. And tying it down. And going to the next one. So I just finished the top section of my hair, my retie, and I just wanted to show y'all how it looks. Like I said, I don't have the cleanest parts, but you can see they still there. They still is neat enough for me. It looks a lot cleaner and better than it did, because the back is not done. And let me show you how the back looks. So this is the back. So a couple of more things with retying that I know people may not like is that it does kind of create a more textured look on the lock, whereas retwisting creates a smoother finish to the lock itself. With retying, it can kind of create like lumps and bumps along the lock because you're twisting the hair through itself, and it can create a lumpier or more textured look to your lock. I think it's cute. I don't mind that, so that doesn't bother me. But for some people who like a more smooth, traditional look on their lock, retying might not be for you. And another thing that people don't like, even myself don't really like when I retie, is because when you're tying, when you're interlocking it, like I finished with a downward motion. So when I try to flip my hair this way, you can see it automatically, it doesn't want to stay. It wants to stay in the direction that I tied it in. So like if I want to pull my hair to the side now, I'm gonna have to like force it or wait till it grows out some and I have a little new growth for it to actually want to stay in that direction. Since I did it with my part in the middle, it pretty much gonna stay with my part in the middle for a while. See? So that's something else that you may not like about retying, but honestly I don't care. Like I said, it lasts longer for me, so I just go with it and I just let my hair do what it does. So I hope that that was informative enough to, you know, share with you or spread some light on the differences between retwist and reties and just give you some pros and cons for both. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.